You might love your snacks, but did you know some foods are lurking around like villains in a superhero movie? Yep, some of the stuff we eat daily could secretly be the Joker to our Batman, or worse, the Thanos to our health. We're about to expose the top 10 dangerous foods that you should seriously consider kicking to the curb. You'll want to stick around because number 1 might make you rethink your next meal. Let's dive in. First up, we're tackling a sneaky culprit that often flies under the radar: refined grains. I'm talking about those seemingly innocent white bread, white rice, and pasta dishes that you might be guilty of loving. Here's the deal. Refined grains are like the sweet-talking villain. They sound innocent. Who doesn't love a warm baguette? But, bam! They spike your blood sugar faster than your Wi-Fi during Netflix binge hours. With a glycemic index rivaling pure sugar, they're basically dessert in disguise. We refine them so much that they lose all their nutritional value, all that fiber, gone. Think of white bread and white rice as the blank pages of the food world. No nutrients, just fillers. They're like the co-workers who look busy but do nothing useful. Even worse, they're loaded with empty calories that mess up your blood sugar, leaving you hungry and cranky a couple of hours later. And if that wasn't bad enough, here's a twist. Constantly spiking your blood sugar with refined grains can even increase your risk of type 2 diabetes. That's definitely not something you want to add to your plate. So instead of being fooled by their soft, pillowy texture, what should you be reaching for? Go for whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, or steel-cut oats. They've got the fiber and nutrients that your body craves. Bonus, because they're digested more slowly, they'll keep you full and guilt-free. Trust me, your body will thank you in the long run. Next up, we're debunking a myth that's been around for far too long: the myth of healthy fruit juice. Remember when fruit juice was marketed as a health drink? Yeah, not so much. Turns out, it's more like the wolf in sheep's clothing. One glass of orange juice, for example, can have the sugar equivalent of 6 oranges. Let that sink in for a second. Plus, without the fiber from the actual fruit, all you're left with is a sugar rush and a subsequent crash. So, yeah, fruit juice is basically a sugar bomb masquerading as a healthy beverage. And here's the kicker. With most of the nutrients stripped away during processing, all you're left with is diabetes in a bottle. Not exactly the refreshing image fruit juice companies want you to have, right? Now, I'm not saying you have to ditch fruit juice entirely. If you must juice, make it fresh at home and sip it like you're at a wine tasting. Remember, moderation is key. Here's the deal. Too much fruit juice may increase your risk of fatty liver disease, and that's something we definitely want to avoid. So, what's a healthier alternative? Go for whole fruits instead. You'll get the natural sugars along with all the fiber and nutrients that are good for you. Plus, you can always infuse water with slices of your favorite fruit for a refreshing and healthy twist. It's trendy and actually good for you. Stay tuned, because up next, we're diving into the deep fryer to uncover the truth about everyone's favorite guilty pleasure. Ah, fried foods, the guilty pleasure of every cheating day. It's like they hypnotize you with the crunch. They might look golden and glorious, but don't be fooled. They're more like food vampires, draining the life out of your arteries. That crispy coating is a direct invitation for trans fats and acrylamides to mess with your body. Nasty chemicals that form when you heat oil to high temperatures. And here's a hot frying pan of truth. Reused cooking oil, common in fast food joints, produces toxins that are linked to cancer. Want the crunch without guilt? Switch to an air fryer. It's like having your fried chicken without signing up for a future cardiologist appointment. Next in the list is quite surprising. Low-fat products scream health conscious, but they're as deceptive as clickbait headlines. Remember, food companies are clever. They know we're all trying to eat healthier, so they slap a big low-fat label on a product and boom, we're sold. But here's the catch. When you take fat out of food, flavor takes a vacation. And nobody wants to eat bland, boring food, right? So what do? They dump sugar into it like it's glitter at a kid's party. But here's the dirty secret. This sugar overload spikes insulin levels and could lead to weight gain over time. Fat doesn't make you fat, sugar does. Which, let's be honest, is the real villain here. Excess sugar can lead to weight gain, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and the list goes on and on. So, what's the solution? Follow this little secret. Full-fat dairy can actually be good for you. Yeah, you heard that right. Studies have shown that people who consume full-fat dairy may have a lower risk of heart disease compared to those who stick to low-fat options. The key here is moderation. So, next time you're at the grocery store, don't fall for the low-fat trap. Read those labels carefully. Ah, bacon, the siren song of breakfast. Yes, you're spot on. Processed meat is the next. Let's be real. Processed meats are the chain-smoking villains of the food world. And here's why. They're packed with sodium, saturated fat, and something called nitrates. Now, nitrates themselves aren't necessarily bad for you, but when processed meats are cooked at high temperatures, those nitrates can turn into nitrosamines. Studies show that eating just 50 grams of processed meat daily, that's like one hot dog, increases your risk of colorectal cancer by 18%. Not scary enough? Maybe this will. Processed meats are often preserved with sodium, so much sodium, they could moonlight as salt licks for deer. We need some sodium in our diets. It helps regulate fluids and keeps our muscles and nerves working properly. But too much sodium can lead to high blood pressure, which is a major risk factor for heart disease and stroke. So while that bacon cheeseburger might seem tempting, it's important to remember that these processed meats are essentially ticking time bombs for your health. So, love your barbecue? Go for lean, unprocessed cuts instead. Your body will thank you for it. Alright, let's talk about artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners in diet sodas, candies, and sugar-free snacks. You find them everywhere, promising guilt-free sweetness. But hold on, my friends. They are the undercover agents of sugar replacements, Trojan horse of the food world. Sure, they're calorie-free, but the price you pay? Gut health sabotage. These sneaky little devils trick your brain into thinking it's getting sugar, which could make you crave more calories later. And here's a fun plot twist. Some studies suggest they may even increase your risk of type 2 diabetes. Ironic, right? It's like hiring a fitness trainer who secretly eats donuts. Want sweetness without drama? Try natural options like stevia or monk fruit and always read the labels. Just because it's low-cal doesn't mean it's harmless. We've all been there. That midday slump hits, and you're craving a boost. And energy drinks promise enhanced focus and stamina. Looks like a great option. But with up to 10 teaspoons of sugar and enough caffeine to keep a raccoon awake for a week, they mess with your heart rhythm, blood pressure, and sleep patterns. And don't even get me started on taurine and other additives. Scientists are still trying to figure out what those even do to us long-term. So stick to black coffee or green tea. At least they come with antioxidants, not anxiety. Energy drinks might give you wings, but you'll crash harder than a bad Wi-Fi connection. Energy drinks are just sugary caffeine bombs in disguise. It's like a roller coaster, thrill first, then nausea. And the long-term effects? Still uncertain. Now, I'm not saying all caffeine is bad, so the next time you're feeling sluggish, skip the energy drinks and opt for a healthier, more sustainable approach. Your body and mind will thank you in the long run. Raw milk might sound all rustic and back to basics, but it's basically a petri dish of bacteria like E. coli, Salmonella, and Listeria. Drinking it unpasteurized is like skydiving without a parachute, unnecessarily risky. If you're craving that natural vibe, go for organic pasteurized milk. Or better yet, plant-based milk alternatives, no pathogens included. It sounds wholesome, but drinking unpasteurized milk is risky. You're gambling with bacteria like E. coli, Salmonella, and Listeria. Pasteurization kills harmful bacteria without affecting nutrition. It's about protecting yourself from serious illnesses. Choose organic pasteurized milk for safety. Alright guys, we're diving into the world of deceptively dangerous foods. At number 2, raw cashews. Sure, cashews look like the friendly cousin of almonds, but raw cashews contain urushiol, the same toxin found in poison ivy. Eating them raw could leave you with more than just a nutty aftertaste. It could cause severe skin reactions, or worse. Truth bomb. The raw cashews sold in stores, they're actually steamed to remove the toxin, so technically you've been eating fake raw cashews all along. So enjoy your cashews safely. Alright, we've arrived at the final food on our list of dangerous foods to avoid, and it's a real chili killer: raw red kidney beans. Yep, those seemingly innocent legumes lurking in your pantry could be harboring a secret weapon, a toxin called phytohemagglutinin. Now I know what you're thinking. What now? Don't worry about pronouncing it, just know that this toxin is no joke. We're talking about severe nausea, vomiting, the works. Imagine the worst stomach flu you've ever had and multiply it by 10. And here's the kicker. It only takes a handful of raw or undercooked beans to trigger this culinary nightmare. That's right, just a few bites of your delicious chili could land you in the emergency room, clutching your stomach and questioning all your life choices. So, how do you avoid becoming another statistic in the battle against undercooked beans? It's simple. Soak and cook them properly. Don't worry, bean lovers, this doesn't mean you have to say goodbye to your favorite chili recipes or bean-based dishes forever. There's a simple solution: soaking and boiling your beans. Before you even think about adding those red kidney beans to your pot, give them a good soak in water for at least 5 hours. Now, if you're short on time or just prefer the convenience, canned red kidney beans are your friend. They've already been cooked to that safe temperature, so you can just rinse them and add them straight to your recipe. Just remember to check the label and make sure they're not labeled raw or uncooked. Alright, health champs, time for the quiz. Which food on this list is nicknamed the silent killer? Is it A, refined grains, B, processed meats, or C, fried foods? Drop your answers in the comments now. I'll reveal the correct one, right after you hit that like button. So there you have it, the top 10 dangerous foods to never eat if you value your health. Remember, knowledge is power, and your health is your superpower. Got a food you think deserves to be on this list? Comment below. Oh, and the quiz answer? It's B, processed meats, because they're quietly messing with your health every time they show up at your barbecue. Want more tips to stay healthy? Subscribe and ring the bell for more bite-sized health wisdom. Until next time, stay curious, stay healthy, and snack wisely.